back to the vlog. Today I'm very excited and nervous. I bought a 1991 Coachmen Leprechaun. I got it from a charity, so I paid $650 for it. There are two things wrong with it that I know of. One is the overhead bunk is leaking, which is very common on Class C motorhomes. So that's something that I've watched YouTube videos on. I know how to fix. Great. That's not going to be that difficult. Famous last words. The second thing is that the generator is currently not working. They just said that they haven't really messed around with it, so it could be a simple fix, but they just didn't really look into it. So that's something that I know. I know those two things. It is Sunday, July 6th. I fly to Salt Lake City tonight to pick up my motorhome. I will meet them tomorrow to get the keys and to start driving her home. Some of my fears are that it's gonna break down on the way home. It is 34 years old, so it could break down. The owners, I'm trusting them. They have been so nice. They've been very forthcoming. I feel like I asked them if I could drive it home or if I needed to figure out a way to tow it, and they said no, like we've never had any issues with it. We just don't use it anymore. You should be able to drive it, no problem. Since I'm asking them, can I drive it or should I ship it, they were very forthcoming and said, no, you absolutely can drive it. I am being optimistic, but obviously this is nerve-wracking. I'm going by myself, so that also just makes me a little nervous because I have never done something like this before, and so doing it by myself is a little scary. It's gonna be fine. I know it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun trip, and I'm gonna bring you along for the whole thing. Made it to the airport in Little Rock. My flight is a little delayed, but that's okay. I have a lot of flight anxiety. I have a lot of regular anxiety, but I have a lot of flying anxiety specifically. So getting here early allows me time to actually relax and try to calm myself down before I have to get on a plane. Monday, July 7th, and I am in Salt Lake, Utah. I've never been here, but I just wanted to tell you what the plan was today. I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna get some hotel breakfast and some coffee, and then I'm going to get ready to head out. I have to get an Uber and stop at an auto parts store to pick up a new battery because the motorhome's battery is currently dead. And then I'm going and meeting the current owners at 10 p.m. No, 10 a.m. I'm meeting them at 10 a.m. I am still a little sleepy. Yesterday was a really bad travel day. There were some storms in Denver, which is where my connecting flight was. I ended up sitting on the plane for an hour in Little Rock. We were delayed about an hour and a half total, almost 2 hours, honestly. And then we finally got to Utah and to Denver, and then thankfully, because all of the flights were delayed out of Denver, that flight was also delayed because I thought I was gonna miss it. And then, so I didn't get into Utah until 1 a.m.
Oh my God! We're going! In case y'all want to know how this trip is going, I came to get gas, stopped to get gas, and I've already locked myself out. We're doing super great. Locksmith will be here in 8 minutes. Whew, okay, it has been a long day, and you might be wondering why I'm in a hotel room again. So I went and I picked up the RV this morning. Everything went great. There were no issues. The previous owners were super helpful. They told me quirks and little tips and things like that. So it went super great. I then went to get gas, and while I was at the gas station, I locked myself out of the RV because my head wasn't thinking that a car in the 90s is gonna need 2 keys, one for the ignition and one for the lock. So I only grabbed 1 key and then couldn't get into the car. So I had to call a locksmith to come to the gas station to get me into the car. Thankfully, they were only like 20 minutes away, so it didn't take very long. And then I needed to go to the DMV to get a 96-hour temporary tag so that I can legally drive it home, because I do want to do this legally. So I went to do that, and that was an 1.5-hour wait. And I still needed to get an oil change and have them look at the tires before I left. Now, you're still probably thinking that doesn't really say why you're in the hotel room. Well, there was Class C motorhomes. They're very famous for the bunk area leaking. Leaking from the window or leaking from the trim on the sides. And this one is no different. It was leaking. I knew that going in, that there was a soft spot, and so I knew that that was something I needed to fix. And I had on my list of things to do today was to go to the store to get some tape to just put along the seal so that it stayed for the drive. Well, driving from the previous owner's house to the DMV, it was maybe a 15-minute drive, but I was on the interstate going about 60 miles an hour. Some of you have probably already figured this out, but the paneling on the side of the bunk of my RV over the passenger side blew away. Just blew away. So I have to fix that. It's fine. It's fine. I bought everything I need to just put some plastic sheeting over it. So I got tape and plastic sheeting, and I will do that tomorrow. But I am exhausted, and so I decided to stay another night in Salt Lake City. Tomorrow I will take her on the road and start heading home. I can drive for hours. My best friend was actually just telling me, she was like, you have so much more driving stamina than I do. And because I can drive like 12, 14 hours and I'm fine. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. So I can drive. But one thing I will not do is drive tired. I'm going to be doing more stops because I'm going to have to get more gas. That's another thing I learned, is that the gas gauge is not quite right. I filled it up today, and the gas gauge never went to full. So that's just something that I'm going to have to pay attention to, and I'm going to have to stop and get gas probably more often than I normally would, because I'm going to go ahead and fill it up at a half a tank. Normally I let it get between a half a tank to a quarter of a tank when I'm on long drives, but I'm just going to stop because I don't know what that actually means right now, so that's just another thing that I need to add to the list. That's today. It was a good, bad day. So nothing went to plan, but I have the RV. She is mine. I've paid for her. I have the keys. I have the title. She is mine.
Okay, y'all. It is 8:30 in the morning here in Salt Lake, and my goal was to get on the road by 9. I think that I am ready, so we're gonna go check out. We are going to go and try to secure some stuff in the RV so it doesn't shake too much or make too much noise, and then we're gonna get on the road. I am a little nervous, but also excited. We made it to Wyoming. Like we are just across the Utah-Wyoming border in Evanston, Wyoming. She's doing great. She is doing great. The only downside right now is I can't figure out the radio. And so I'm having to just listen to Spotify on my phone, which for most people would not be an issue. But I just don't like to just listen to my phone. I don't want to drain my battery since I'm camping tonight. So I had never been to Utah or Wyoming, and I collect magnets from the states that I visit. I'm gonna do something different for her. I think it's gonna be super cute, and I'm super excited about it. But I still collect magnets, and they didn't have any magnets, and this was the only place that I found that had Utah. So it has a Utah patch, but it says Salt Lake City, which is where I stayed. So I have that, and then now I got like a little Wyoming sticker, but I'm just gonna put little magnets on the back of them to add them to my magnet collection. We are gonna get back on the road. We have a ways to go. We have a ways to go. We are, like I said, we just got into Wyoming, and then we have about 7 more hours to go, actually. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Can't wait. Well, we are currently on the side of the road in Wyoming. It started shaking a little bit, and then the oil pressure went from normal to low, and the check engine light came on, and she just kind of stopped working. So I've called for roadside assistance. And here we are. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm like a couple of miles from an exit, but I couldn't make it. So I'm just stuck here. And I'm gonna try really hard not to cry. And currently I'm in a spot where it's only one lane, so I can't even like get away from all the trucks and stuff that are passing, unfortunately. Like this was all I could do. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
don't have an RV anymore. The motor died 30 miles from the mechanic shop after they told me everything was fine. And there was no way that it was going to make it all the way to Arkansas. We still had 1,200 miles to go. So I sold it, and it is someone else's problem now, and I'm going home, and I will be on a flight home tomorrow. My flight leaves at 5:33 in the morning. It is currently like 9:45, so I'm going to take a shower and get a couple hours of sleep before my flight tomorrow. This was a lesson learned, for sure. I really wanted this, so this really sucks, but that just means that this wasn't for me. And I feel like this is one of those things that it's a good way of saying what you see on YouTube when you see all of these people buying these cheap RVs and driving them home, or buying campers or cars or whatever you see. There's probably a lot of things behind the scenes that they're not showing you because they want the big dramatic story, and that's just not how it works in real life for everyone. So that's where we are. I don't know. I'm sad, but I guess this is one of those lessons that I had to learn the hard way. So, lesson learned.